Okay, team, we want to look at our structural model from our picking up from the previous exercise. Here we want to go in and look at creating rebar. So let's just turn this floor off for now because we need to see what's going on here. In fact, let's just do a temporary hide. So let's grab the floor in this view and hide because we're going to need to see what's happening. So let's hide element here. Now we're in our structural model. Architecture's linked in. Okay. As you can see, there's our architecture and our structure. So now let's go into our topic footing. Now let's take a section. Let's do this guy in the middle first. Well, let's take this one. First of all, let's do this. Let's change these footings to another size. So let's edit type. We'll duplicate this. And we'll make this 76 by 6. And delete that off the end. Click OK. And let's change that width to 6. And click OK. And we want to match these properties. Okay, so now we have 3 columns here in the middle. So let's take this center column and footing, and let's place a section mark right about here. Now we're working on reinforcing, and the thing about reinforcing, you have to be in a section view. Won't work any other way. You have to cut through your elements. So let's smooth this back slightly. We've got that. Let's go right there. So now once you have that view cut, and let's do is double click here, and you will see our section of our footing and our structural column. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at structure, and we have our rebar tab. So let's select rebar, and this message will come up. Okay, and let's say okay, and then we'll see this lovely rebar shape icon that pops up, and it shows you all the different shapes of rebar. And then over here in our type selector, you'll see the different numbers, bar numbers. So the first thing you want to do, you want to go and grab a piece of rebar and start reinforcing this footing. So let's do a type 2. Now you see the dashed lines and all these other settings. Now let's go back and look at our structure tab again, and let's look at reinforcing. So these are cover settings. As you see, it's 3 inches against earth and exterior, interior. So these are very dependent on the structural engineer's requirements or standards that you need to use. Let's just click OK. So now we can place this piece of bar. Now, what happens here is we need to go into modify, and this bar, it needs to be parallel to, let's see, parallel to the cover. And let's go to curve right plane, parallel. So there. So we'll take this bar and place it right here. Now here, you'll see it'll accept a single bar, or you have these options. You can go fixed number, maximum spacing, number of spacing, and clear spacing. So let's go with maximum spacing. And then we have these settings. So let's space these at 8 inches. So there's 10 bars there that at spaced at 8 inches. So let's hit modify. And now let's go in and select. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's window tile this. Then shut this view off, and we'll do a window tile. It makes a little space so we can see what's going on, folks. Let's do a window tile, and let's show this view fine in the wireframe. So there's that bar. So what happened is you need to see structure because you might not pick stuff up. So there it says single. We didn't want single. We wanted maximum spacing, and we want 8 inches. Ooh, 8. Not 8 feet. Okay. So there's that bar, and as you can see in our 3D view, it's placed. So what we want to do now is let's make this fine so we can see the bar. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, now let's go here. Let's go add more rebar. There's definitely not enough rebar for a footing. So let's go to structure again. Let's go to our rebar, and let's take a straight bar now. Now we want to work near curved work plane, which is that section we cut, and let's make this perpendicular. And then we want to do this maximum spacing again, and we'll space these at 8 inches as well. Inches. And we'll set it right about here. Let's select the modify command. And now, when we place rebar, we can adjust the rebar because the bar wouldn't go outside of this bar on the below. So let's go zoom in here and grab these pull arrows and slightly pull it over right about there. So we can adjust these things. Grab this one and slightly pull it over right about there. And there you can see there's our bars placed in our footing. Let's hit modify again. Now let's have a look at the column. Slightly different here. So since we're in a good, I think this work plane will work for us. So let's go to rebar again. And here we want to use a stirrup. Here's one right there. And we want to make this parallel to cover. Okay, there. So we're near cover reference, parallel to cover. See? You got to really watch these settings because it gets tricky. So we'll place our bar right there. And here we want to say maximum spacing again. Let's make this 8 as well. 8. There you go. Let's hit the modify tab. So there's our reinforcing for our columns. Now let's go back into our top of footing view and see what's going on here. Now you see what happened here. You need to pull that back, that view range back in there. You can see the full stirrup in there, and then you can always adjust these. We can make these a 4. In fact, let's make everything 4. There. Okay, so that's one column. Now let's move on to our next column. So let's go back into our top of footing. Okay, now what we can do, we can just move. We can also do this. Let's go tab. And we want to select all instances. No, we want to just do this way for practice sake. So we can move our column, our section mark here. Put this on fine. And let's do the same thing here. Okay, so what I did, I just moved that column over. Now we're here again. So let's window tile this so we can see what's going on and where we are. There's the center column we just reinforced. Now let's go and do this guy. So again, we go into structure, rebar. Let's go up to our number 2. And we want to make this parallel to cover. On current vert plane. Place it there. We want to do our maximum spacing, and we'll make it 4. And then, you know, I got the same issue here like I had over here. Okay, so let's select the bar. And we'll go maximum spacing. It needs to be number 8 inches. Space these at 8 inches apart. And enter. Okay, there's our next one. Now let's go grab the column, look at the column again, and let's place our stirrups here. No, we got our straight bars now, so let's go structure. Rebar, sorry. And let's do 0, 0. And let's go with perpendicular to cover. Let's place 1. Let's just grab the 1. Oh. Go maximum spacing. And do a, see what happened? Let's cancel out of that. Placed it wrong. Sorry, folks. Okay, let's undo this. Don't want to go that way, so let's place this rebar here. Let's take him out, undo that. Let's go place rebar again. No, we want to go perpendicular. And we want to go, select him. Let's go to maximum spacing. Okay, going in the right direction now. Let's say 8. Enter. Okay, let's modify. And then let's grab the little pull bars. Put that one there. Let's pull this one here. Okay, here we go. So that's column number 2 done and footing. Nope, got to do our stirrups now. Let's go here now and let's see if we can get our stirrups in now in this bar. Now the design might be different. It could be totally different depending on what the structural engineer wants. So back in rebar. Let's find our stirrup. Now, here, we want to go, I think this should be near cover, let's see. Okay. So we'll place this one here. So you got to really watch the settings. So in this one, we in fire cover reference and we in parallel to cover. So let's place our stirrup here. It's really nice to get this in one hit. So you should try to get these settings right when you place it. So let's go with our maximum spacing. Let's go with 8 again. No, let's leave it at 4. So there we have 2 columns done. Now let's go back into our plan view. And let's just move this section mark here. And let's do this third one. So now we want to go back into structure. This is repetition, but you know, I like to learn things repetitively, so that at some point we can probably make a program or for these processes. Okay, let's go all the way back up to our number 2 bar. Go parallel to cover. And let's go current work plane. There we go, and we set it there. And we select it. Maximum spacing. We'll say 8. So you can see what's going on in your 3D view. Let's go and place straight bars. These will be perpendicular. Place one there. I'm gonna try. Let's do this. Let's do something here. Let's do all our settings at once. So let's go with structure. I used to do this really well as working as a structural designer doing rivets. So we want to place maximum spacing, and we want to go 8. There you go. Let's place that right there. And then we'll go in, grab our pull arrows, and slightly pull it across. Okay. Now, what we want to do here is, just want to show you guys this for reference. We can select these bars, and we can change the number 10s, which would probably be more consistent with a footing. But let's just leave it at number 4 for practice, but works like everything else in Rebar. Select and change the type. Now let's go and do our stirrups. Okay, so let's go rebar. Our stirrup, and we'll go, okay, near cover, perpendicular. Place it right at the cover line. It gets a little tricky here, but there. And we didn't set our settings first, so let's just go here and go maximum spacing. And we want to do these, where are we going with these? At 8s? Let's leave these at 4 since it's a column. But anyway, that's how you do reinforcing in our footings and columns. Now let's take this a step further here. I didn't want to go on the part. I wanted to make this a 2-part, but we're going to split the parts from architecture to structural. So let's go and let's do this wall. So let's take this section up here that I had already placed. Let's double click, and there's our wall and footing. So here, we're going to do a little something different here. We're going to use our sketch command with reinforcing on this one. Okay, so let's go structure. Okay, reinforce rebar, and let's select sketch. Now we can go here and we can sketch our bar. Let's sketch this shape right here, connecting that wall to the footing, and let's select it. And then we can say, we can take it and say OK. And then once we have that done, we can select that bar and we can just do our maximum spacing and minimum number or whatever. So let's go max spacing, and let's make this let's stick with 8 inches here. And we'll select OK. And there's our bar. Now let's go into our 3D view. And there's all our bars on the wall. So let's go and select these other walls. As you can see, there's our bar, and it's connecting to the footing in the floor. So let's double click this here. Now we can add stirrups here as well, but I don't think we need stirrups here. I think in a wall, for a wall, we would do this type of thing. We go with a straight bar. And we'll place one here. Well, I need to try to remember how to select it. Let's go maximum spacing. And let's make this 8 as well. We'll say 8 inches. There. Okay. And then we can mirror these across if we like. And now let's go have a look in our 3D view. Now typically you want to have a bar that long, but that's basically how you do it. So let's go and do these other walls. Probably should have just left with one wall, but let's do all these for practice. So let's go back into the top of footing. We can just move this guy and rotate it over. Rotate it 90 degrees. I do this because I like to keep my sections ordered and numbered right, properly. It helps out a lot. Okay. So let's go to the section here. We want to go to structure, rebar, sketch bar. We want to sketch a number 4 bar, say from here to here to there to finish. Let's select that bar. Let's go max spacing. Let's go 8 inches. Actually, should go more like 4 feet, but let's do 8 inches. And they're all there. Then let's go do our straight bar. Perpendicular to cover. Okay. Let's place one right here. Let's go maximum spacing. You should always do that first. Now we know. Let's go maximum spacing. See, you got a number with spacing. We're going to go max spacing. You go 8 inches. Let's undo this. I'm sorry, folks. I think you all get the idea of how you do this. I want to go through this because I want us to do this entire model. Maximum spacing, and let's go 8 here. Oop, 8 inches. Nope. Even under there, 8 inches. Okay, and let's just mirror these across. Here. So this is how you do reinforcing. Now, complete the other walls. Let's go on our 3D view and see what we got here. So we've got this wall these two done. I think I'll go ahead and do the other two on my own, and I'll cut this video short. So this is how you do reinforcing, and this is going to be in our structural model. So stay tuned for part 2. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, say you like it, or if you got any comments, ask comments, and if anyone needs this AutoCAD link model where we drawn from, email me. I'll be happy to send it. Bye.